Alright everyone, we got a nice 3v3 that was actually brought to me by Baron B. He did send me the little email replay. If you have any fun replays you do want to send to me, I have my email in the description, and also if you are part of the Hungry Wolves Discord, which if that's not in the description, let me know. I'll share a link to the to a comment, pin comment that you can put it in there for replays for Charlie. But we got ourselves an ultra fun battle on actually my favorite map, Talifadorum. It's my favorite 3v3 map in my opinion. Though everyone does like to attack this corner. I like to put some pressure here, force some units away, and if you can break through and do some damage, it does not allow the enemy to kind of pull back here and here. It forces them to pull back a little further. And if you get it done right, you can cut off a lot of enemy troops from this position as well. But with that, let's take a look at the army comps, because it is an ultra fun battle. There will be a lot of elites in here for sure. So let's start with Egypt here, the Darkin. He's brought himself a Ptolemaic Cav General, one fixed ballista, an African War Elephant. He's also got a Light Peltist, and then 3 mercenary Cretan archers, 4 Egyptian infantry right there, 1 Galatian royal guard, 2 royal peltists, and 6 thorax swords. Next up, we have Seleucid. Seleucid is brought to us by Manny Cisco, or Siosko, I think it is. CIOSO. But he's got 8 silver shield swordsmen, including his general. There's those elites I was talking about. 1 fixed ballista himself, 2 Persian light archers, 2 Syrian archers, 3 hillmen, 1 thorax pikeman, and 3 Thoreos spears. I think he could probably got rid of the pikemen. Got a few more hillmen there just so he could have some units that were not as elite to help push up some stuff. But that is preference. We'll see how he does. Lastly, we have, lastly but not least, we have Nervii brought to us by Baron B himself. 8 Oathsworn, including his general, so very, very dangerous force there. He's got himself a Scorpion, 4 Gallic Hunters, 4 Celtic Warriors, 2 Guerrilla Warriors, and 1 Levy Freeman. Now the defenders we don't see, but we do see a few flags here. The 2 flags we do see is first is Epirus, brought to us by Aaron M. Tunstall, and Galatia, brought to us by Rob Marley. Bob Marley's dyslexic twin. And then, I'm just kidding, of course. Swaby is the last defender. We don't see any well already from him. But that's, oh boy. Tumam Iswatsona. I said it perfectly right. I hate how there are no spaces in either Epirus or Swaby's names. Technically either in Seleucid's name either. But with that, that is the army comps out of the way. Let's take a look at this corner insult and see how they do. I mean, I'm assuming at least one wall will be destroyed there. The other thing I'll want to note is how much they actually put in this hill. It is a gamble there. You want to put your archers there because that's a great positioning to have them, but if you put too many men there, you can kind of isolate your force, while they can kind of isolate your force while the rest of them move in with a few less units. And if you put too little, you might lose your archers too early for infantry blockers. So we'll see what goes on up there. I need to stop delaying the inevitable, and let's get this party started.
Now we take this settlement and fight through their streets with nothing but rage and hatred for these pathetic foes who cower and hide behind these walls. Show them no mercy, warriors, but kill all you come across.
Nice, heartfelt message from the Nervii commander there. Thank you, Baron. Proving once again that the attackers are the good guys. But one thing to note, we do get a little sneaky force here. Some hidden guerrilla warrior or Gallic hunters. Celtic, we have, and then the 2 guerrilla warriors here. Looks like I are going to pull back behind the river. Nice, nice, nice. Nothing open there. That's closed as well. So no immediate sally out coming out from what I can see. We do have a Gallic Hunter just sitting here, I'm assuming. Actually, I don't know why, because unless he fired... I guess he did some damage to the... Oh, wow. Lucky. 45% already? Yeah, it looks like that. I guess that's why they stopped firing. They turned the artillery piece. Yeah, they're running away now. As... Okay, so they brought Celtic Slingers. At least one of them. Interesting. I see a lot of people bring them. Not the biggest fan of Celtic Slingers on this map. They're good. I agree that they are better for defense and offense. But if I'm going to bring Slingers, I mean, maybe one or two here. But that's all I would bring on the Slinger side. I wouldn't bring four of them. I feel like four is too much. That's why my Lusitani build has two Balearics, two very good Slingers. And that's all you really need. Because you're not counter-sniping archers and trying to get kills as well, where the numbers are prevalent to just shut down a ranged unit. Alright, Hillman getting up there. Hillman most likely going to go for the Epirus one as well. Maybe go for that Celtic Slinger. Wall broken. Is he trying to widen that wall? Possibly. Honestly, sacrifice the Hillman to silence the artillery piece. Don't allow him to fire anymore. Yeah, he is. 26%. They're going to try to double open up that wall. Gallic Hunter is going to sneak around, try to get that slinger on the side. Got some Bloodsworn up there. A few Galatian swords. Triple bronze chevron. Okay. Mercenary Italian. No, the poor mercenary Italian. Shouldn't have done that. You should have... You could have committed into there. Silence that artillery piece. We'll see how it ends up doing. If no one does silence it. Yep, that's what I assumed was going to happen. Gallic's getting that shot there. Forcing the slingers back. Up to 56. Alright. That's pretty much silence there. Technically, they need one more. They're going to try firing again. Wasted Egyptian javelins. 94. Just missed. That full volley should probably get it. Ooh. Yep, silence. Okay. No, they got it with a single fire. But the full volley does come in. It's a few Italians. And also the wall break did kill a decent amount of those Italians as well. 18 melee attack, that's wild. I mean, they're wasting shots at low target. I mean, save it for the Gallic Hunter, so that's what you want to do. But you're targeting Levy Freeman with that behind a siege tower. That's a pretty wide gap that they've got there. Yeah. Nice hit. One thing I don't know if you know, as this battle does get started with Egyptian infantry and the Galatian swords, I mean, the Galatian swords are just going to dominate that fight. So, not even without the chevrons, they would have dominated. Firing flaming shot into these near here will instantly put them out, and they won't bounce, which is really cool to see. I think explosive shot also doesn't go off, but that's something I would just have to check. I don't know why you're pulling back, Galatia. You just gave them a ton of kills that they didn't deserve. And you provided a gap that they can walk in on, yep. Slingers being forced back, down to 52 men. 28 kills, which means they're pretty worthless now. Yeah. Side shot in them. Thereo Spear moving on in. Mercenary Italian fighting even with an Egyptian infantry. Fair enough. I mean, the volleys are doing their work. Yeah, the Galatian sword is dead. I think it was two units firing. Yeah, Levy Freeman moving up. They're going to burn towers. Okay. Alright, here we have some Syrians, Cretans. That is a bit of a clump. You might want to spread these guys out so they're not interfering with each other. Where are they volleying at? Nice aim getting into those Cretan archers. That is a nice shot there. I mean, I guess hit the Egyptian infantry. You don't really need to target them. You're winning that fight anyways. This is probably where you're going to want to target that thorax. That was a beautiful volley from that Seleucid artillery. Right down the clump there. Yep, the Bloodsworn have come in. I mean, they're going to have to get shot because they are doing great. I mean, Galatian Sword, 172 kills, but finally losing to those Thorax. Volleyed into the side as well. Yeah, those Bloodsworn are gone. What do we have here? More Bloodsworn? Yeah, more Bloodsworn. Yep, that Slinger going exactly where I thought it would go. Right on that hill. That's where you want them on this map. And the other part of this is you don't want too many Slingers, so if you know someone already bringing a Slinger or two, you probably don't want to bring them as well. And focus more on archers. So for example, if you had... I like to do RDI on this map when I'm defending. So bring like 2 Slave Slingers, put them right there. You do well. Nice. Italians being beat up. Shield wall while already in melee combat, which is a bit of a push. Trying to force a bit of a push there. Yeah. Bloodsworn getting right into the flank. That is a nice hit there. Getting 5 kills immediately. I mean, they're just going to shoot the shit out of him, sadly. Yeah, they're just shooting the shit out of those poor Bloodsworn. Which, I mean, is fine. I'm sure, to be honest, the defenders are actually happy about that because their higher tier infantry aren't going to get shot. I imagine they have Swordmasters. I have maybe Berserkers. I'm not the biggest fan of Berserkers. I prefer Wolf Warriors. In this one, I should say I'm the biggest fan of them in Thrones of Britannia. Okay, they're going to get the charge off. Nice. Yep. I mean, the Egyptian infantry is going to just get slaughtered. Another Italian? Yeah, another Italian. Now, if I was on Ultra Fronts and I was Epirus, I would gold chevron the Samnites. So that would just be hilarious. Right into those Hillmen, nice. Nice. Bloodsworn didn't get the charge off. That's a nice hit with his Egyptians. I mean, it's not going to save the Egyptians, but it was a nice hit. They do need to do something to close this gap back up. because what I would do if I was them, I would get another unit into there, go left, another unit into there, go right, and bam, you're all of a sudden hitting the back of the defenders. They're pulling back. You need to push. You need to push. Nope, they don't. So they're going to just allow the Italians to cycle charge in. There's such an opening. They can just hit here. They can hit here. They can hit here. It feels like they have formation attack on these thorax, which is a mistake. But they need to push. They actually have the opportunity to push into the enemy, and they're not. We see some Galatian legionnaires moving out. Wolf Warriors, look there where I said it. The reason I like Wolf Warriors is they have the Scare, Frenzy, and their full-sized unit, where Berserkers are a smaller unit. I might be tempted to do an Ulfer's old Swaby build on large funds, which is I think it was 2 Silver Chevron Wolf Warriors and a Hex Bearer. You just break everything with them. You have to be very particular where you use them, like anything with Swaby, but that's a lot of volleys going in. You need to push, Baron. You're doing a great job at holding the gate, but you need to kind of expand the front a little bit, because you can. That would be my biggest criticism so far in this fight, is just the attackers themselves, whether it's Baron or anyone else. The reason I'm picking on Baron is just because he has the units there. But to be honest, Egypt or 100% Seleucid, which I haven't really seen enter the battle outside of his hillmen, need to start moving in as well. Kind of expand this gap out, so because what will screw you in this map is if the enemy can hold you here, you're screwed. You've lost the game because they can put all their archers and slingers up here and just shoot the shit out of you. No tower walls to protect you, nothing fancy like that can protect you. So I don't mean to truly pick on Baron, it's just that he's the only one I saw up with the opportunity to do it. To be fair to him, it's most likely more that Seleucid needs to start moving in properly. When Wolf Warriors, they got shot a bit, so they went into Frenzy. They'll just slaughter through these guys. Egypt and Baron, when I was going on that low rant, did move out to kind of expand the front out a bit more, which is helpful. Yeah. Wolf Warriors are just going to get shot to death. Too early to use them. But then again, the defenders on their own side are also not pushing in. They need to, because they're scared of the enemy archers. So they pulled away into a more defensive position here, which is going to give the attackers actually what they need. If they can start expanding out, because you can go up this pathway, kind of cut off this force. So basically, what they need to do is up this way, cut here with one unit, and then press this way with the rest while they're hitting this way. And they've eliminated this force here that's now trapped. And now they can get ready to press up here, or hold it depending on how much the enemy has, and continue to assault forward with the rest of their forces. And you can see it's already starting to happen. I mean, to be honest, that Celtic warrior moving a little too fast for that. Yeah. Italian's going to notice, and he's going to try to get there. He's being sneaky, yep. I mean, 130. You need to get in there. Hit that Italian. Yeah. I figured they were going to do that. Alright. That's why you had to be ready for the assault. Those Cretan archers had no shots done. Oh, and they just javied into the back. Nice. They got some friendly fire losses. Yep, look at that. Empress is pulling out. That's why you need to make sure you've got the units ready to push this way. Because if they were able to stop that force there, these Empress archers that are incredibly healthy would have been stuck up there. That would have been a huge, huge boon to the attackers. To be fair, they would shoot the shit out of the units holding, but that might not be the best position. But you would force them to waste ammo instead of them getting away and getting to a better position. Wolf Warrior's getting ready to come in again. Wolf Warrior's way too early into this fight. Another Wolf Warrior there, though. They have a lot. Again, Seleucid holding so many of those men out. Okay, what? Elephants. The elephants are stuck. That's why you gotta be careful when moving elephants. These guys are now stuck until you move that tower. Those light peltas, oh boy, they were full. I don't know if they were full ammo, but they got no kills, so I would assume they have shots left. They killed those light peltas. I mean, Silver Shield's about to break through the Legionnaire. You need to and get to that Legionnaire so you can silence the Artie. Or not Artie, Wall Tower. Nice, those Celtics got to push up. Yep, Egypt needs to start following through. Wolf Warriors are just getting shot to death. Perfect. That's a Galatian Royal Guard. They're going to enjoy that fight. But with the units, start hitting them in the rear. Get another unit ready to move up into this position. Why do you have so many forces still back here, Egypt and Seleucid? You need to move up with more forces, please. Nervii himself doesn't have a lot in, but you can see he's moving his forces kind of further along here, moving up the towers and protecting the flank. But Nervii can move some more forces in as well. You need more forces into this fight, please. Alright, Egypt did do it. They hit them in the back. They should have fully broken that hoplite, to be honest. But never mind, Seleucid has found a way to break through, so I guess they're just trying to push them away. Stop them. Look at this. 3 Galatian Legionnaires now. Devil Silver... One of them Devil's Silver Chevron. They're now trapped back here. Well, that Cretan Light that was broken and came back. Noble Horse will take them out. That is something I noticed. Egypt's the only one with cavalry on attack. Again, this isn't the best cavalry map for attackers, but I always recommend bringing 1 or 2. Yeah. Those Wolf Warriors are going to win that fight if they don't get any support, or they don't get anything there. They are getting some support as some Oathsworn are moving up. Thorax here, fully healthy. Yeah. Silver Shield's got around, they crushed this front. They're sitting there, they silenced it. And these Legionnaires are going to die to Silver Shields. I mean, yeah. Hold on. 2 Silver Chevron Galatian Legionnaires. Don't even attack this point. Burn down that tower. 100% what you do is burn down that tower. And you just keep a few forces, kind of like here. And you just push forward. Because Galatia has a lot of what they have remaining up on that tower. And if you just ignore them, you're good. Berserker and Berserkers. And again, the ability to go Berserk is great. But they're a half-man unit. Gotta be careful with them. Okay, pull back, let the Thorax fire. Yeah, makes sense. Looks like the attackers are going to put some pressure on the Galatian hordes. But if you're going to do that, you're going to need probably 2 healthy silver shields. Would be my bet, just to push up so that javelins don't get thrown. Oathsworn making their way up. They're joining this fray. Immediately out of control. That is very lucky. That is rare to happen. I'd be careful when volleying. Just it's such a small unit, you're not going to get too many crazy good kills. I'm surprised that one went berserk immediately. I mean, that berserker's pretty much dead. And this is another thing to note, like, you have a lot of towers you're not using over there. Put a few over here, even if you're not going to use them, because it gives you that option. These are just tips and tricks from hindsight, playing this map way too much. Swordmasters are now involved in this fight. Those guys did go berserk as well. That's wild. I mean, they're almost dead, fully dead. Ooh, ooh. Are they going to be able to javelin that royal pelt or that berserker? Is that berserker going to target properly? Yes. I mean, that's a horrible matchup for royal peltists. Nope, not going to complain. Everyone has their preference on elites, whether they prefer their, like, the royal thorax or the silver shields or royal peltists. I've never been the biggest fan of royal peltists because I've never gotten them to work. But I have seen people who have made them work, and they do God's work when they can work. But I've never been able to do it. Yeah, they're just getting overwhelmed up here. That's why you don't really commit when there's so many of them up there. You just kind of ignore it. Force them to attack you down the hill and on a disadvantaged position where you can shoot them in the flank. Thorax versus hoplites. Those hoplites are actually winning. Imagine, yeah, it's just because of damage to them. The poor Ptolemaic cav is being targeted, as are the archers. That's a horrible blob. So sorry for them. That's going to screw them. But yeah, hitting swordmasters in the flank, that's big. Royal Pelta's doing what they can. I'm assuming they're trying to get an archer there to do the similar thing. Hogbo hunters. They're 125 range, so they're within range. Nice. I mean, yeah, I'd be hitting those Royal Peltas in the back if I could. New Silver Shield trying to break through the Galatian Legionnaire. Again, you had to burn this tower. That's probably the biggest thing you needed to do early on, because that tower is just racking up kills. That one never got a fire. Well, how did this one end up doing? Still only 37. Nice. Stopped him. Levy Freeman, I mean, they're just... They brought Levy Freeman outside. Wild. Best part is I can actually do some damage to the elephants, maybe. Majority of them are inside. They're down to 126. And it looks like Swaby actually won on the flank. Berserker's 148. Other one's dead. They are severely depleted from that assault. Yeah. I think right now the biggest misplay is just too many forces were asked to assault this hill, this defensible position. I wouldn't have done it. Sit back, let them have to come to you if they want to have impact while you push forward. But silvers and silvers. Going right into the Berserkers. And actually, a nice ploy, because now those Sword Masters are going to get them in the flank. They're going to lose a ton to that. And they're going to get shot. Holy shit. Yeah. And that unit's going to die real fast. I don't know how I feel about Baron here with this force. With no towers over there, I feel like you need to support this assault. Because it's not going well. That's why I would recommend, even if you're not attacking on this side, put a few towers here in case the fight comes this way. You can put like 1 or 2 towers on the wall. If you want to be cheeky, you put one like here so you can kind of rotate this way. And then one there to kind of do that. And that as well is another thing you can do. And kind of help this force here. Oh. No, they're out of ammo. That would have been a wasted strike. I thought this unit had ammo yet, and I was going to be like, holy shit, they just fucked up big time. No, he's just burning towers. But we need something to break through this portion here and get Nervii in at this point. Because that's the biggest thing we need. Again, this tower still isn't burning. No one has put any pressure on it. Nice little thorax pike in the back. I mean, it's actually wide enough to cover it all. That's what I'm most impressed about. Immediately targeting the elephants. Wonderful job. Yeah. Berserk. I mean, it's going to crush a bunch of the enemy Swaby forces here, which is going to be great. However, that's a lot of allied forces. Yeah. They just lost a lot of those archers, and Swaby can break through. And this is the other point I say. Attack this wall. You can attack... Can't really attack it with siege towers. I would break open a wall with a artillery strike here, then you burn the tower, then you have your own leisure to push in. One breach point, and you get some archers right here, blasting the side. They'll do it to you on this side, but you just have tanky units, and you win. But it prevents them from doing this. Look at all those archers that they feel safe using. Again, silver shields. No one's attacking you. Burn this tower down, please. Dude, this tower is slaughtering you guys. The biggest misplay so far, Saluka trying to attack this point. Big, big mistake. And to be honest, it might cost them the game. I hope it doesn't, but that would have been a real easy way to just soften up the enemy is, again, if you ever see a bunch of enemies like this up in this point into Lithodurum, move some units up here, and then burn that tower. As soon as that tower's on fire, you're pushing back to here and here. You have your archers. If their archers try to move up to target you, and if they try to come on down on you, bam, you hit them right in the flank with ranged. They die. You got it. That's a healthy swordmaster there. That's dangerous. Probably another healthy swordmaster right there. Yeah. This might be a misplay on Swaby. They need to be aggressive. They could have actually... What I would do if I were them, cycle into here. Keep you smashed in so those towers could fire. It looks like they're being overly cautious to protect ranged. And that's going to That might fuck them. They might be able to actually get that gatehouse because of that. When they do, this might get Nervy Eye into the fight. And some pretty good damage in. Again, you didn't burn the tower, so this tower is still firing and killing your guys. Huge death, huge amount of death here. Huge amount of death here needlessly. That ended up actually being a Galatian win. Yeah. What the weaker boys need to do is just hit those sword masters. Allow the Oathsworn to play. No, they're pulling back to a more defensive position. That is a huge, huge mistake. Because these guys are going to take control of the tower. These guys take control of the tower. Nervia is coming in force, and it's a lot of Oathsworn they're going to have to contest with. And a Scorpion with already 70 kills. Push, push, push. These Thoreo Spears need to move up. Defend these archers here. See if you can get some javelin volleys in. Oh, Nervia is just about to. Start moving those Start moving, not the ranged. Start moving that infantry. Get ready to move them in. Because you're going to need a strike as soon as this is taken. Go, 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 go. In, in. Swaby pulled back. That was their big... That may cost the defenders their game. You know what? We have one fight here. Sluka doing what they did here could have cost the attackers the game. This is their big misplay on the defender side right here. The attackers did not have the infantry to hold that from a Swaby assault of Swordmasters. Because, by the way, there's 3 Swordmasters there. Easily overwhelm what remained over here. There is a healthy Oathsworn, but the other Oathsworn isn't healthy. And some Thoreo Spears. They could have crushed. You know what? If you're that worried about it, bring the Woden-ass Spear in as well. Nice job with the Ptolemaic, but there goes the Ptolemaic. They're going to get slaughtered to the man. Thorax Pike against Levy Freeman, okay. Silver Shield. Again, that tower still hitting. Look at that. Should have burned down that tower, I'm telling you. Yep, could have brought that Woden-ass Spear down earlier. You're clumping 3 Sword Masters into that fight. Why? You don't need 3 Sword Masters in that fight. One there, and then one to retake that gate before all these infantry come in. You get that Woden-ass Spear support. Too late now. All the Oathsworn are in. Nervia's got a huge play now. They can overwhelm this flank now. Swaby fucked up big and I think cost them the game there. After Seleucid almost sabotaged their team with this, I think Swaby did something far worse. Because now even if this neutralizes, they don't need any more. I mean, they can get one more Oathsworn in. But they've got a huge force in here now. And they've clumped all of those boys up. Nice job with the Ptolemaic. I mean, getting in, trying to do what they can. Getting into the Hoplites and Thoreos. Ptolemaic's almost dead. But he's going to keep going. Nice, right into those archers. Probably finish them off in a second. You could have stayed in there and finished them off. So going to go for a rear charge. Yeah. Nice hit. And one final charge. This is going to be their end. Hellenic Royal Cavalry general, my favorite general for Epirus. The Swordmaster's being ripped apart. Yeah, keep them clumped. Those Wodenats are going to go down shortly. And this flank's crumbled. That's a huge loss. I mean, Hellenic Royal Cav getting hit. Again, as I said, I think Seleucid fucked up bad in this fight. And I think Swaby just cost their allies the game. Because that's a lot of Nervii that's about to be going into the flank of the enemy that I don't know if Epirus can defend against. But what needs to be done is Nervii needs to fully push now. Nervii needs to put pressure on this flank while there's still pressure over here. Because there is less and less pressure over here. And if the defenders have a chance to reform over here, they might win. And genuinely, there's one Royal Peltists here. Break that Italian, which I don't know how they're still alive with so few men. One unit here to kind of push a little deeper. One unit here. Break that Royal Peltist, and they're fully through. But it may just be too late at this point. Yep, they're able to start funneling. Epirus is able to now start funneling forces over here. They're going to be able to trap them. That's not good. No, Nervii, Baron, please. You need to be aggressive. No Swords are going to cut through Royal Peltists. And those Royal Peltists have now thrown all their javelins. Now you need another Oathsworn to get ready to go into this Royal Peltist. What would have been best is that the Rail Spear turned around and got into that. But he's not. He's going to be running for the... He's running for the next gate. Try to stop the Thessalali... this cavalry here. Thessalian. But get one of these Oathsworn ready to go into that. That way they can't throw javelins at you. I mean, that Thraeus is going to... No, that's a mistake. You should not have gone for the victory point. You should have gone here. You're going to push for the back. Take the gate. Block them off fully. So that the Epirus cavalry has to come around like that. Take ages to get in. But they already have cavalry. They don't have javelins. That's lucky of them. But these guys do. Or they should. And if I were them, I would be throwing javelins right on into that clump right there. They about to throw? Yep, right exactly where I said they would go. Perfect. Perfectly done, Epirus. That's exactly how you want to hit. Yep. I see this a lot with players, is that they're too willing to not assault to use their javelins. Which is a mistake a lot of the times. Nothing to Baron. I'm sure Baron's going to get a lot of kills with those javelins, and a lot of experience because they're killing good units. But you need to be more aggressive when you have an opening and less willing to step behind. To be fair, it's not just Baron. All the attackers have done it, but Seleucid with Seleucid's suicidal charge on the hill. But he didn't achieve anything of note. He didn't knock out the tower or anything like that. And he just weakened his forces needlessly. I get it. You don't want to be reckless. You don't want to assault. But you need to be a little more aggressive in these fights, especially when you have the infantry but not the cavalry advantage. Because the infantry advantage is going to give you the ability to overwhelm the attackers or the defenders in multiple locations in this case. It's not bad playing. It isn't. It's a different style playing that I feel, if you're not on top of, leads to more mistakes. But overall, Baron's done very well. Just minor nitpicks here and there. So I don't want it to sound like I'm criticizing him. The two that I want to criticize are Swaby, because Swaby had a perfect opportunity before Nervii had the forces. 3 sword masters that Wodenass down this way, before you had a chance to take that tower, probably would have won them the game, because Nervii would either have to pull all the way around, back, or they're just not getting into the settlement. And Seleucid, attacking this hill, one, not burning down the tower, and just attacking the hill with a bunch of Galatian legionnaires in it, that you can't really attack more than 1 or 2 at a time, was a mistake. Players I think did the best are Nervii's Baron and Epirus. Those 2 players by far have been the best 2 players in the game. Galatia's not a good player. He just got lucky with Seleucid. He overcommitted to the wall, which, with a smarter player defending against it, would not have helped him. And Egypt, I don't feel he did too great. He did good. I just don't feel like he did better than Nervii. Again, as I said, I feel Swaby lost them the game. That's why I'm already going over commentary like the defenders lost. Because I assume they did. Maybe I'm wrong, but I've seen a lot of games. And that's a lot of Oathsworn. Still some Silver Shields. And that might still be an active Scorpion. That is still an active Scorpion. Yep, just ripping through those pikemen. Bad charge. You can't charge like that. You're actually going to knock down your own infantry and give them kills. A trick with pikes, drag click them to where you want to go and they'll keep their pikes down. They'll walk to the position while keeping pikes down, and that's really, really big. Glacier trying to break through here. I mean, that Oathsworn general is going to win that fight, that's for sure. Nice hit there, Nervii, right into the flank. And you're still having the Scorpion fire right into that blob. Nice hit with the Lennox. If there's more and more breakthroughs, this is dangerous for them. They did it. But the Oathsworn is going to... A very small amount of Oathsworn are going to get behind them, and they'll still do some damage. That's for sure. Glacier getting in to save them. Noble Horse are starting to lose numbers. That Oathsworn can get a headhunt off. Levy Freeman coming in to help. I mean, yeah, that Oathsworn was always going to win that fight. And if they win that fight and they're able to go this way, that's big. Oathsworn's still going. Emperors can't really move. Surrounding that levy, yeah. Do they get 60 kills? I don't think they do. Oh, they do! Nice. And that Scorpion's still going, man. Just aiming right into that cavalry. I mean, yeah, the general's like, this is over for me. Capture that cavalry right there. Nice, you got them on a hit. Accidentally, but they did get caught up. And they're going into diamond formation? Yeah. That's going to catch up some Thessalian. Yeah. Drop them under 30. Way too late into the assault, but they are going to crumble together. Noble Horse don't want that. They're getting caught up. Yeah, they're getting caught up bad. They're going to try to break out of this, but breaking out's going to kill them. Yep, as I said, they're going to try to break out. Drop them under 30 there. Down to 26, yeah. They have a blob of infantry that they're going to just keep together and just smash through. Alright, well, this fight is over. There's 4 minutes left, but to be honest, this fight's over. So, let's talk about what each side did very well. I think Nervii, well, attackers overall, I think did very well on, to be honest, widening their attack. So, for example, Nervii moving this way, the assault in. Probably should have put some towers over here, just as a precaution. Also, taking the assault here. I know it didn't end up working for them, but it spread this way out and damaged them pretty badly there, especially because those archers were getting those side shots. What did they do poorly? I think not having, as I said, those towers over there could have led to disaster. It was a very big gamble because you were relying on forces coming this way, and if they put up a stiff resistance in this portion, you would have been screwed. So Seleucid doing this assault almost cost the attackers the game. They needed to burn that tower and pull back. Once they pull back, they've just trapped a ton of Galatian units there, and they don't need to keep as many Seleucid units there to counter them. Especially not with that tower not there anymore. Because then Galatia, as they're coming down, can really only attack in 2 locations. And despite having all those numbers, can only have 2 real good assaults unless they want to clump up. Defenders, what I think they did really well was capitalizing on their opportunities. When Seleucid made this mistake, Galatia came down and did some real damage, but I think Epirus was the real MVP here, holding this position. Here. And when they had the opportunity to, swiftly moved it this way. They didn't want to pull back. They actually held this position and made this fight a lot closer than it should have been. What did they do wrong? Suebi fucked them. Suebi fucked them real hard by pulling away from this defense. They had 3 sword masters and could have easily brought a Woden-ass spear over here before the assault. And if they had those 3 sword masters charging with this Woden-ass following up, they would never have taken this gate. Nervii would never have gotten in, and Nervii would have been forced to backtrack pretty significantly, And by then, Galatia coming down would have crushed Seleucid and Egypt, and Nervii kind of would have been stuck outside of the walls. Let me know if you don't agree. If you do agree, I think Baron did the best for the attackers. I think, what was it? It was Aaron M. Tunsal did the best for the attackers. Now, again, kill death might not reflect it. They were the best team players, and they did the most to try to give their team the victory, while Swaby and Seleucid did the worst. They were the ones most likely to have lost their players the game, and Swaby was just the bigger mess up. And I should mention what I mean by that is, if Seleucid didn't charge up that hill, they would have had a ton of Silver Shield swordsmen to throw into the fray. Wouldn't have been that close of a fight. Galatia kind of would have been stuck up there, and the Silver Shields would have crushed Galatia as they came on down, because they would have had the wider point of defense. If Swaby didn't pull back, Nervii would have come in, and I think it would have been a defender victory because they would have been able to sweep up what they did with Seleucid and Swaby, Seleucid and Egypt before Nervii was able to properly get in. Sorry. But that's kind of what I mean by that, by the biggest fuck up. They were the biggest turning points in the game. But let's take a look at the battle stats here. Yeah. Galatia did the most, but they weren't the best team player. They kind of let their team down by sitting on that hill. If it wasn't for Seleucid fucking up, Galatia would have had no impact. And if it wasn't for Swaby fucking up, Nervii would have had no impact, to be honest. So, Misplay's got the killers, or the most on each team, the most amount of kills. So, Baron B, our Nervii player, let's start with him. His Oathsworn General, 145 kills and still very healthy. Scorpion, 128. He did amazing with his archers. 309, 147, 221, 198. Celtic Warriors, 92, 69, nice. 166, 105. Guerrillas, 129, 101. And the rest of the Oathsworn, 266, 195, 348, 111, 161, and 299. Only one not getting over 100 kills. Seleucid, Manny here. 141 on that Silver Shield. Not expecting to see anything too crazy, but 116, 127 on those Persian Knights. 110, 135 on those Syrians. 79 on the Hillman, that's nice. Silver Shield's 137, 142, 196, 195, 156. They should have got far more kills fighting Galatian Legionnaires. But they screwed up big time. Egypt here, he took the brunt of the assault. He was in first with a lot of the mid-tier and some of the low-tier. But again, just nothing too impressive that turned the tide of the game. He was that frontline mauler that took some damage, and he had some misplays as well, especially with those peltists. 172 Ptolemaic. I think he did pretty good with that Ptolemaic, getting in and disrupting. Elephants fucked him over. Killed a lot of his troops. 112 on that Ballista. 168 on that Royal Guard. 138 on those Royal Peltists. Again, I can't get Royal Peltists to work well. I love the people who do, but I just say don't bring them. Bring Royal Thorax in this case. Maybe Galatian Royal Guard if you can. Credence, 109. There. 0. I mean, Egyptian infantry were Egyptian infantry. I'm surprised one got 55 kills. Thorax, 218. 190. Yeah, about standard. He had a lot of the mid-tier and low-tier that had to go in first. They got slaughtered by a lot of the enemy's initial front, while Seleucid came in and wiped up a lot with his silver shields. But that was the Darkin for Egypt. Tuma here as Swaby. The one who probably fucked over the defenders, but 185 on that Berserker. Swordmaster 134, 170, 144, 132. Yeah. Sad none of those Wolf Warriors did well. He used them way too early. Epirus Aaron, who I think did the best for the defenders. 113 for the Hellenic. Archers 126, 126, 109. Those hoplites held really well. One even got 86 kills. Italians 193, 106. Royal Peltis 123, 129. Thraeus 124. He didn't bring any Sammonites. Oh, that makes me sad. Gold chevron on those Sammonites. Glacier here. Rob Marley. Really got to thank Seleucid for all those kills for him. But 242 on that noble horse. I mean, it is a noble horse. Another noble horse got 66 kills. I didn't even see them that fight. Syrians 151, 120, 101. Galatian swords 122, 175, 105. They killed a lot of the early Egyptians. Then Legionnaires 114, 174, 257, 159, 187, 141, 206. Again, they need to thank a lot for Swaby or Seleucid pulling up onto that hill for them and not burning that tower. They got so many kills thanks to both of those. Ugh. With that, that was a nice little ultra fight. A lot of elites. Some pretty serious misplays on both sides, but one of them being more detrimental than the other. But with that, I hope you enjoyed. And I'll see you all next time.